basically. Alright everybody, welcome back to another Friday Night Magic live stream from Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia. My name, as always, is Zachary Evans. I'm joined tonight by the Round 1 bye, which is Joe Lewis. And we are watching our Round 1 feature match already underway. On the left, we've got stream regular Garrett Meadows, who's playing a Boros Aggro deck. It is the mostly white weenie deck, splashing red for some sideboard cards as well as for Boros Charms. And his opponent is Brandon Gibbs. Last week we slogged through multiple Mazes End matches with him. This week he has decided to try and win and is playing red cards. So mono red versus Boros Aggro should be a quick one either way. Garrett with a turn 1 Soldier of the Pantheon into a turn 1 Boros Elite into a turn 2 Soldier of the Pantheon. Soldier down thanks to a Magma Jet. Let's see what the follow-up is here. And it is a Daring Skyjack. Daring Skyjack, along with the Quarter Paladin, are cards that are very painful to me because they made one of my favorite cards unplayable, which is Blade of the Sixth Pride, which was the 3-1 for 2 vanilla creature from Future Sight that had the full art, like the full art creature. I played it in my cube and I loved it. Because
now you got an upgrade.
I can't play it because it's just way worse than I play with Quarter Paladin. I don't even play Daring Skyjack. Not good enough.
That's a good chain here.
Yep. So burning tree into Frostburn Weird the hard way. Obviously you can't chain it. This is not mono red. This is mono red Devotion. He wouldn't be playing. Can't imagine him playing Frostburn Weird in the aggro version of this deck.
He may not be playing Banshee Priest on the weird. He's got weird in here. He may not be playing Nexus. He might be just playing Fanatic. Of course, we see Meadows might be.
Yeah, it's probably the. Yeah, you're right. It's the. What'd you call that? Fanatic Red?
Yeah, you can call it Fanatic Red.
Let's call it that. It doesn't matter. We're basically just entertaining ourselves.
Crazy red if you wanted to.
Yeah, last week people got upset because I called your deck Blue-White Control instead of Callblade. How was I supposed to know it was Callblade?
It shows up right there.
There is the Fanatic of Magus. That's the reason why we're seeing Frostburn Weird, because it helps you power out a giant Fanatic of Magus. As it is, Magus hitting for 4, putting Garrett down to 15. More importantly, helping to clog up the board here. So Garrett at a little bit of a standstill. He can attack in and activate Battalion. That'll get 3 in with the Skyjack and make his Boros Elite a 3-3, but he will lose his Banisher Priest and give Brandon his Frostburn Weird back.
Yeah, well, he's got Mutavault there. He could even do Mutavault and keep the Banisher Priest back. But
well, this makes things a lot better here.
That's really good.
So Spear of Heliod pumps everything. Now we attack in. Both of our Battalion triggers hit. So you've got a 3-3 Priest, a 4-2 Flying Skyjack, and a 4-4 Boros Elite.
I smell a Boros Charm also there.
Yeah, a Boros Charm is a giant blowout here, but I don't think Brandon can play around it by any means.
He's got there's somebody under the bus. No, okay, so he's gonna get his guy back.
It's also very interesting that he chose to block with the 4-2 instead of the, and Garrett's playing off the top now as the last card in his hand is a Precinct Captain. Interesting that he chose to block with the 4-2 and not the Burning Tree Emissary, because they both going to...
Banisher Priest was a 3-3 because of the spear.
Oh, you're right. Well, that's why I'm bad at what I do, Joe. Won't be the first mistake I make tonight. So we're tapping 1 mana for what looks like a Rakdos Cackler. That's what it is. We're deciding... This is the point at which you, as the mono-red player, have to feel like things have not gone very well. As you debate whether to unleash... you choose whether or not your aggro deck wants to play a 1-1 for 1. So Brandon just passes back now with the Unleashed Rakdos Cackler.
Brandon's at what?
Brandon's in at 10. Yeah, I should have don't know why I do these scores.
This could be pretty.
Well, there's a variety of
placing 4 attackers.
Yeah, there's a variety of cards which I think make this attack lethal here. So we're activating the meter ball, serving in with everything here. Battalion triggers hit, so we're getting in for 4 guaranteed with the Skyjack. Brandon doesn't really have any real great blocks here. He can block and pump with the Frostburn Weird, but he'll lose it to any of these creatures. His best bet probably is to block the Precinct Captain with the Frostburn Weird.
You could take and block the Captain.
And then you could double block the Mutavault maybe, or
Even
double...
if he blocks the Captain, he can't trade with the Weird because where the Captain's a 3/3 first strike.
No, I would just block it and just eat the damage. Use it as a wall.
Yeah.
Then double block the Boros Elite probably.
Well, you can block Elite with a Weird and then pump it and it'll kill, it'll trade.
Brandon decides he doesn't want to do the math and instead just wants to pack up his cards and move to game 2.
Probably there, even if he does block.
He's not winning that game, but I mean, still, like,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm
sure
sure there are.
Any outs really left with him
I don't know. It's very unlikely that he has sweepers in the board, considering he has a fair number of creatures himself. But we'll take this opportunity, like we do at the start of every broadcast, to thank the fine folks here at Lost Legion for letting us hijack their FNM and broadcast it to you guys all over the world, or in this case, the 16 of you, one of which I know is Eric in Indiana. So thanks for watching, and for the rest of you, if this is your first time watching, we appreciate it. Make sure to follow us here on Twitch for future coverage. We also want to thank the fine folks at inkedplaymats.com. You see their logo at the bottom of the playmat. They hook us up with that sweet custom double playmat. If you want one of your own, single or double, custom or with original art, head over to their website at inkedplaymats.com with the playmat starting as low as $10. They also have a variety of holiday deals. They've run free customization in the past. They also had 15% off. They had free shipping, so a lot of stuff going on. So check them out and support those who support the stream. And finally, if you're trying to build a Legacy or Modern or Commander deck, we all know that there's things you can't find at your local card store. And in that case, make sure to head over to affinityforcards.com for some of the best prices on the internet. Use promo code LostLegion, all one word, for 5% off your first order. And again, help support those who support the stream. You can do that too.
The foils are coming. I was like, your personal taste is your commander is to be super foiled, and then you're just stock on the everything else, right?
No foils in commander, that's my rule. Otherwise, it gets out of control fast. Also, possibly getting out of control fast this second game. Brandon on the play, having dropped game 1 to a pretty strong curve from Garrett. This time finding the turn 2 Ash Zealot. Garrett. It does. It's the closest you can get to a Goblin Guide. Whoops. Closest you can get to a Goblin Guide in this format. It does a very good job of attacking for 2. Yep, there's the Precinct Captain, which is going to eat a Magma Jet. More importantly than just the removal spell, we're going to scry one, probably a land to the bottom. I don't think people realize exactly. There were a lot of cards, especially the lands when they came out. Players, I think, just having grown fat off of the Buddy Land, Shockland mana base of last standard, weren't real excited about these scry lands, but the ability to push a card to the bottom and fix your draw at basically very little cost, especially tacked onto a pretty good removal spell like Magma Jet, so powerful.
I wasn't around playing when Magma Jet was first printed. Was it? Did it have a very big impact in these colors as well too?
It's a very good card. Yep. Whoops.
Oh, double Ash Zealots.
2 Magma Jets allow 2 Ash Zealots to get in there, dropping Garrett to 12. And while both of these decks are very aggressive, Brandon's deck is the only one that really has that reach of being able to do a lot of direct damage to the dome. A Fanatic next turn would be for 5 and would basically make the game relatively over.
I was not surprised when I saw the scry mechanics show up in Theros. It fits the flavor of the.
I would not be surprised if we see Serum Visions reprinted at some point.
That's very.
Because that is
a variant of it. You think a variant of it?
Well.
Oh, look at all these.
2 Magma Jets, 2 Lightning Strikes. Brandon Gibbs double fisting it and taking out 2 creatures, getting his Ash Zealot back and putting Garrett down to 8. Now, to a certain extent, Garrett can't be thrilled that after all these turns he only has a Precinct Captain on board. But the fact that he hasn't eaten any of those 4 burn spells directly, you know, things could be worse. Garrett dead on board, though, as the Chandra's Phoenix shows up. Precinct Captain eats one of the Ash Zealots, but he's not going to be able to stop that Phoenix. So we're a burn spell away from winning here. Very unlikely that Brandon has one, considering he's used 4 already. So serving in with the Phoenix put Garrett down to 2 and dead next turn, and follow that up with a Frostburn Weird, which is effectively going to blank that frontline medic. And looks like we're moving to... Yep, still had all these Reckoners, which he couldn't cast because Garrett's deck plays 4 Mutavaults. So, unfortunate draw, but that is the peril. You know, you look at these mono whatever devotion decks. You know, there was multiple camps at the Pro Tour with the mono blue deck. Do you play 2 Mutavaults? Do you play 3 Mutavaults? Do you play all of them? Do you have them in the board? Do you have them in the main? Because while it's a great card, it gives you a lot of reach against especially the Esper decks. It makes you unable to cast things like Tidebinder on 2 and Nightveil Spectre on 3. So
I think you also look at like what the size of your land base, how many lanes you're actually playing overall, and it requires some number crunching. Because you know the lower your land base is, the odds of you hitting one of those colorless lands, it increases. Increase by a bit.
It does. But I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised to see Serum Visions, if for no other reason that it's an uncommon in Modern that multiple decks play 4 of, and it costs like $4 or something. Like, there's no reason uncommon should be like that. So they might just reprint it just to nuke the value of it.
But yeah, so Serum Visions, does that name fit with the whole Greek mythology?
I think it's innocuous enough that it could. They're all the time having oracles and visions and stuff. Serum is just a word, so I think we're on board. Flavor check. Meanwhile, both players keeping on 7 here. Garrett on the play, which is incredibly important in this matchup. His Boros Elite squares off against a Rakdos Cackler. Then Garrett's going to scry here with a Temple of what's the red one? Temple of Triumph. He's going to leave that one on top. Let's see if he has a 1-drop follow-up. And he does another Boros Elite.
All elites all day.
Why? The Boros Elite is a 1-1, right?
Yeah.
Oh, because it can't block. Man, I'm so bad at Magic, Joe.
Oh, overloaded Electrickery.
That seems very good. So sideboarded Electrickery coming in and catching Garrett in a situation where he could not deal with it. There's a Skyjack. And another Temple of Silence. So Garrett unfortunately drawing not only 2 red sources, but 2 comes into play tap lands. These are the perils of playing this style of deck. Brandon following up with the Chandra's Phoenix. So the clock on considerably. Garrett's going to need to find a Banisher Priest to deal with that.
Oh, that works too.
Chandra's Phoenix. And there's a Reckoner, which basically in this match is going to read 3/3 unblockable. The question is, can Brandon add an additional amount of pressure to win this race? He's already ahead by 2 points and an attack step, but the ground is effectively clogged for now.
Yeah, it also reads the world's greatest wall against mono red.
Yes, the Boros Reckoner is actually very, very good at blocking, which is obviously why Garrett brings it in. He can't lightning strike it to effect, and you know. But
Reckoner of your own. Oh, and a land.
Yep, and now, more importantly, Brandon's Fanatic of Malgus, should he cast it next turn, is enormous for 7.
Oh, man, it would be so good.
Yeah, and the difference between these 2 decks is that Brandon's deck can win through this stalemate because he has the flyer and because he has direct damage.
Oh, just the reach. The reach is great.
Yep. So there's a frontline medic.
But it might be depends on what Brandon taps and goes Fanatic here. It could be Rogue, because that would be pretty...
If Brandon has a Fanatic at any point in this game, because Garrett can't...
5, 6, 7, and then you attack with the board, everything, and then he has to block something.
Yeah, put him down to 5, you can attack with your Phoenix for 2, and the Reckoner, no matter what happens, you're going to take 3 more, so... So Electrickery, not overloaded, just going to take out the Skyjack there. Then we have 4 mana. Seems to me if we had the Malgus, we would have slammed it already. We're going to get another Phoenix here. We are going to get another Phoenix. And serve in for 4 through the air, so Garrett's really up against it at this point.
What's more important, Electric, he kept him off of
Battalion?
Yeah.
Well, it kept him off of being ahead in the race. Electric is pretty brutal against this mono white deck, as a lot of the creatures that matter, Soldier, Skyjack, Boros Elite, all 1 toughness, Dryad, Militant. All 1 toughness. Serve in with everybody here. No block, just take the 6. I guess there's a Precinct Captain and a Daring Skyjack. So Garrett's just going to cross his fingers here and hope that Brandon doesn't have a way of exactly killing him. Any burn spell should be good enough here because you can force through effectively 7. You just need to deal the last point of damage. But if Brandon doesn't kill him this turn, he's potentially dead to a Brave the Elements on the way back.
Yeah, a crack back.
The way Brandon is thinking this over here is not. It is apparent.
It's 11 on the crackback.
It's either the sickest of slow rolls, or Brandon has not drawn a relevant card here. So he's going to, if he attacks in with the two Chandra's Phoenixes, put Garrett to 4, but then he is going to take, at a minimum, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the way back. He can chump the captain. He can use the Reckoner to kill the frontline medic if he wants to do that, or he can kill the... Wow, getting very aggressive here.
I don't know why you don't attack with the Cackler too.
Yes, you should. You should.
Because you need to force him to want to go.
Oh,
burn spell?
well.
Yeah.
Turns out it was a slow roll. I don't know if maybe I mean Brandon may not have seen it, but you can't block the Reckoner because
you just take 3 years.
Well, no, I think to be perfectly honest, Garrett can't block the Reckoner because he's not going to win the game if he does. Now, whether Brandon has it, if he shows him the burn spell, then maybe you don't do it. But if you block, you're not going to win that game if you block, lose a creature. So it was just a. I mean, the Electrickery is what won that game for Garrett, but or for Brandon, I should say. So Brandon moves up 1-0 in this. We got 4 rounds of Swiss tonight. Then a cut to top 4, just top 4 again, as turnout was relatively low. So let's see if there's another match. I'm going to wander around too because I'm bored of being in here. So we'll see what else we can find.
Find something involving mazes in. Hey, no. Yeah.